Teachers are employed in schools to nurture and educate the students entrusted to them. However, what occurs when they abandon their duties and commit heinous acts against those they are supposed to protect?
Give a woman a position of power and use it to murder a child.
Here are 3 cases when terrible teachers realize they are going to jail.
The next step is basically you do go to jail tonight. I submit some paperwork.
I'm little, they're gonna tear me apart.
Britney Zamora. Starting off with 27-year-old Britney Zamora, whose hidden evil eventually caught up with her. On March 22, 2018, a troubling alarm went off, shaking a quiet community to its core. Police were alerted by a couple to a disturbing situation involving Britney Zamora, a school teacher discovered having sexual interactions with their 13-year-old son.
So yesterday I got the alert and I kept getting alerts back to back because the word baby kept being used. But this time I saw at the bottom that it had Mrs. Zamora Instagram profile.
Okay.
That's her name.
The concerned couples tipped off authorities after discovering charged text messages on their son's phone, the content of which was nothing short of shocking. The boy's phone, equipped with a monitoring app, revealed a series of inappropriate exchanges between him and Zamora, conducted through Instagram. These messages weren't just flirty, they were blatantly over the line, with some even suggesting that the teacher and the student had engaged in sexual activities.
I showed my husband the conversation and then he came home. We talked to my son and we told him, we need you to be completely honest right now. We already know the answer to everything we're going to ask, so we just need you to tell us the truth. And so my husband just told him,
Okay.
have you done anything with your teacher? Did you have sex with your teacher? He said yes.
He said yes. Okay.
Britney Zamora, seemingly a respectable and innocent educator, was in fact engaging in this heinous behavior regularly, exploiting her position of authority. The reports from the parents indicated that their son confessed to having sexual encounters with Britney at least 6 times in her car and even within the supposed sanctity of the classroom.
We were doing a talent show thing, and while I was saying bye, me and my friend were about to walk, and I was saying bye, and then I grabbed my backpack, and my friend was messing with her computer, and then she was kissing me and everything, and she was like, you want to go in? And I was like, what? And she's like, you want to go in? And I was like, sure. And then the same thing, I didn't take my pants off or anything, but she was wearing a dress, so she just pulled her underwear to the side, and then I was in there for a minute, and then I was glad, and I was like, alright, I gotta go.
The wheels of justice began to turn swiftly. Zamora was arrested and placed in an interrogation room where the gravity of her situation slowly began to dawn on her.
Where were you before that?
Littleton Elementary School.
And how long were you there?
From July 2013 to May 2017.
And what's your position right now?
6th grade teacher.
6th grade teacher, okay. And what did you do there?
At Littleton? 4th and 5th.
All right. And are you from Arizona, or did you?
I moved here when I was 10.
Okay. And where was that from?
Michigan.
Well, if you're from Michigan, then what football team were you cheering for?
The Cowboys. Not the Lions.
I'm from Wisconsin.
Not the Packers.
You didn't cheer for the Packers,
No.
then?
My husband and his family are diehard Cowboys fans. So.
Despite her initial cooperation and occasional smiles during questioning, it became clear she underestimated the severity of her actions.
So is this arrest from the school, or was this from something separate? So I had my school call me yesterday and tell me that I was on probation, but I had his father contact me today, so I was just trying to figure out which one it was from.
Well, it's more from things.
Okay.
The school doesn't really call me, and
Okay. So it's
the school's not pressing charges or something like that. It's dealing with, yeah. So dealing with that issue. So, and there really is. I guess I wanted to give you the opportunity because there really is very little doubt on what happened. But I wanted you to be able to maybe explain, give you the opportunity to explain kind of. Why it happened, kind of thing. Because I really is very little doubt on what happened. But I wanted you to be able to maybe explain, give you the opportunity to explain kind of why it happened, kind of thing. because I'm not going to judge you, okay? And you said this is the first time you've been in trouble. Yeah, and you're 27, so you made it a long ways. So I'm not going to judge you, and people do make mistakes. So there's mistakes that are made in life, and they happen, and it's basically how people move on from those is kind of who they are as a person. So I'm not going to deny that, that it's something, and I'm sure you're not either, that it's something that shouldn't have happened. But I'm not going to call you a monster or anything like that and say you did something so crazy that you're a horrible person. So I wanted you to explain how this came to happen.
Can I have an attorney?
You can. Is that what you want? Okay. All right.
I just don't know if I go about it.
That's fine.
When pressed to explain her behavior, Zamora clammed up, refusing to speak further without legal representation. The interrogation shifted as the investigator, initially showing a hint of sympathy, laid out the stark consequences of her actions.
And hypothetically speaking, what is a typical consequence? That you've seen?
I don't know. It varies. I can't give you. I know. I can't give you a black and white answer to that. They take a lot of things into consideration. You don't have a criminal history. At least you're telling me that, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't checked yet.
I never did anything.
So.
I'm sorry. It's just
That's okay. I do know. I'm not going to ask you any more questions because you said you wanted an attorney. So, did you have any more questions for me?
What are the next steps?
The next step is basically you do go to jail tonight. I submit some paperwork.
I'm little. They're going to tear me apart.
Well, I mean, if you have problems with somebody, you can voice that to somebody.
Overwhelmed by the reality confronting her, Zamora broke down, crying out about her frailty and fears of being destroyed by the prison system. Yet this moment of vulnerability did little to overshadow the grim nature of her crimes. Further investigations and interviews with students painted a darker picture of Zamora. What appeared to be an isolated incident was a pattern of deeply troubling behavior, undermining the trust placed in her as an educator.
And I was by the desk area, so if anyone would open the door, I'd say, "Oh, someone here," and they're in the corner. So they told me just to cover the door. And then the next day, I didn't want to cover, so I just went out the classroom and covered because I didn't want to see them doing stuff.
So you said after the talent show that you left the bags in a room and you were standing by the door and they were making out in the corner.
Yeah.
Help me understand, what do you mean by they were making out?
Kissing each other and no, I wasn't by the door. I was this is the desk, or this is the desk area, and the door's all the way over there. So I was by the desk, watching out if anyone would come in the door.
Okay, so tell me, what other very first thing that happened in the room?
First thing, they started kissing, and then Ms. Zamora went on the counter. It was right here, and then he was putting his into Ms. Zamora's virgin. So Ms. Zamora was right here, and then right here, and then he put his leg, Ms. Zamora's leg, so he widened it out, just bouncing up and down.
Hearing the voice of this young student, struggling to articulate his experience as he testifies against her, revealed the extent of her manipulation and abuse. Kicking off exactly 1 year after her arrest, Britney's sentencing unfolded in a courtroom charged with tension. Although the victim's parents were absent, the mother of the little kid who testified against her was present at the court. Unrestrained, she voiced her outrage, confronting the grim reality of the case head-on.
Your mind is foul, your heart is ugly, and you disgust me. You should be embarrassed and ashamed of yourself. You deserve to leave prison at an age where you cannot bear children of your own. You deserve to spend the next 27 Christmases alone, the next 27 birthdays alone in your cell with no family and no friends to comfort you. Britney Zamora, your secret is out. The world knows you are a child. And while you sit in your cell and think that maybe things will get better, they won't. You are forever labeled a child, and everyone hates a child.
The legal system responded with a heavy hand. Zamora was charged with sexual misconduct with a minor and faced additional charges of public indecency. Ultimately, she pleaded guilty, and the court, recognizing the severity of her offenses and the betrayal of trust involved, sentenced her to 20 years in prison. Zamora got one of the lowest sentences for her crime, looking at the gravity of her case. But if you thought that was the most grave case to ever occur, you'll be shocked to know the severity of our next case.
This is a page of a substitute teacher job application for Osceola County schools. In it, FNU Said Yasin Asher marked off preferences for looking after elementary-age students. At least 6 young girls have accused him of molesting them in class.
Yasin Asher. In September 2021, substitute teacher Yasin Asher faced severe allegations that rocked the core of the school community where he taught. He was accused of engaging in inappropriate conduct with several girls, all reportedly under the age of 12. The accusations came to light after the parents of the alleged victims courageously stepped forward, prompting an immediate investigation by local law enforcement.
We're gonna go through this again. So these kids are all making that up?
No.
You gonna tell me the whole school's gonna make something up?
No, I'm telling the truth about the other girl, but I don't know about.
Okay. Maybe a girl. Let me say a girl because I don't even know if you remember her name. A girl.
Yeah.
On Thursday, she's saying that you touched her butt inside of her pants.
No.
Are you willing to take a lie detector test? It's really a stress voice analysis test, but people kind of refer to it as a possible lie detector test. Will you be willing to take something like that?
No.
Why?
I'm afraid of that.
Why?
It might hurt me, that's why.
How is it gonna hurt you? It's not painful. Or you're afraid because you're not being honest with me.
No. It's not in the...
Man, listen. I don't understand why you cooperated with me. I know I'm gonna find out a whole lot more. Now I'm scared about what I'm gonna find out because you're not being honest with me. We keep on going back and forth. You cried and you told me you were sorry.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like you're sorry when you're not being honest with me right now.
During the interrogation, Yasin's responses, or lack thereof, painted a picture of a man caught in the headlights of justice. Initially, he offered nothing more than apologies, a move that seemed counterintuitive. Why apologize if you're innocent? His reluctance to directly address the charges against him only fueled the growing suspicions of his guilt.
But you're sitting there and instead of, you're not sorry. You say you're sorry, you're not sorry. Because you're not being completely honest with me. If somebody's truly sorry and wants forgiveness with anybody, you will be honest. You're not sorry.
The situation intensified when the investigator revealed the existence of video evidence. The mention of this evidence left Yasin visibly shaken, undermining his earlier displays of confidence. It was clear he had underestimated the investigative prowess of the law enforcement officers handling his case. Despite this, Yasin continued to dodge direct answers, providing only minimal cooperation.
Be honest and tell me what happened, man. You're sitting there, and at this point, saying you're sorry, but you're really not. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna start pulling surveillance. Now you're just gonna make me work harder for it.
Yeah, I really didn't do that.
Okay. some random girl that does not even know the other students is randomly gonna say the same thing that you touch her butt. That is just a coincidence? That's a coincidence? It's a coincidence?
No.
Do you think that today's my first day on the job?
No.
Do you think that today you're my first interview?
As the interrogation wore on, the pressing questions from the investigator drew out the darker truths. After a protracted silence that seemed to stretch on forever, Yasin finally confessed to his crimes.
I was at the desk.
Okay, but what happened?
She came up to me, asked me a question.
Okay.
Told her to get your assignment and come here.
Okay. No what happened?
And I tried to touch her.
But how? Where do you put your hand?
On her back.
And you slid it down, or was it from underneath her skirt, or was it from above?
Once from above.
Like that, like you go down?
Yeah.
And what did she do?
She didn't tell me anything.
How long did that last for?
About 2 minutes, I believe.
She just let you?
Yeah.
The confession, when it came, was as shocking as it was revolting. He admitted to the crimes he was accused of, but in a disturbing twist, he attempted to shift some of the blame onto one of the young victims, suggesting she had allowed the misconduct. This reprehensible claim only served to highlight his culpability and the depravity of his actions.
Is there anybody else that is gonna come forward?
No. I don't think so.
The investigator, suspecting that this pattern of behavior might not be isolated, questioned Yasin about the possibility of other victims coming forward. Yasin's answer was negative, but the tone of his response suggested that even he did not believe his own words.
Look, I already know that there's probably gonna be more people coming forward. Is there anything else that you want to be honest with me about?
Say, I would say that I did the wrong thing. I wouldn't do it.
That you did wrong?
Yeah.
I know you did. Did you put your fingers inside her butt?
No.
What do you do? What do you put your hand inside her pants or skirt or whatever she was wearing?
Just touched her.
Like what? Show me. Where your hand? On the table.
Just touched her.
You said 2 minutes. Did you leave it there or something else?
I left it there.
Okay. And while you guys were doing what? Like, was she not saying anything? Were you saying something? I'm trying to understand, like, how does that work?
Believe. She was writing an assignment on the paper.
Okay.
She was doing it at my desk.
Following his confession, Yasin Asher was convicted on multiple counts of misconduct involving 4 underage girls. Each count carried a sentence of 8 years, underscoring the severity of his offenses. Upon completion of his prison term, plans were in place for his deportation back to his home country, where he would be marked as a recognized predator. Yasin's crime was really terrible, however. This next woman action towards a young innocent kid would totally piss you off. Angie Flores. On February 9, 2023, what started as a typical day at a New Mexico daycare took a dark turn when an employee captured a disturbing incident on her phone. The director of the daycare was filmed in the act of aggressively grabbing a 3-year-old autistic child by the shirt.
Get on the chair.
side. It was dirty on the side.
The footage abruptly ended, leaving many questions unanswered about what preceded the event and the child's subsequent fate. This alarming moment left both the employee and the other children in the daycare visibly shaken. In the wake of the incident, the courageous employee didn't hesitate to alert the authorities. When the police arrived, they were presented with a chilling scene on video.
When she did that, what was the whole situation?
Because he didn't want to sit on his chair.
Because he didn't want to sit?
Yeah.
Okay, and she was making him sit.
And then she pulled him up by his front.
He was
front
crying,
of the shirt. Yeah, by the front of the shirt, and then that's when she picked him up.
Do you know where she took him at?
The video showed the young boy crying out as he was hoisted by his shirt. His cries grew louder and more desperate as he approached the director's office, a path he seemed all too familiar with, hinting at previous similar encounters. The sight of his distress suggested this wasn't the first time he had been subjected to such treatment.
She spanks him and everything. When she
Like
hits
in the
him.
butt, or
yeah.
where does she?
Or she hits him on their hand.
Oh.
And the one she grabbed, like she
Where
hits
is
him in the next classroom.
In the next classroom?
Okay. Yeah, she hits him on their hand and everything, and like, you know, I just didn't want, you know, I mean, because I get paid good here, but at the same time, if that was my kid.
Yeah, no, I completely understand.
The employee revealed to the officers that this incident wasn't isolated, as it had occurred many times. Frustrated and alarmed by the recurring abuse, she felt compelled to finally document the wrongdoing. However, when the police questioned the daycare director, they were met with evasion.
The reason I'm here today is because we received an anonymous call of potential child abuse here, kids being grabbed. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Has there been anything going on?
Nobody's come and talk to me about it.
Well, as I'm saying, it came in anonymous, so I'm just trying to figure out, like I said, I don't know what's going on, so that's why I'm trying to figure out, is there anything going on with the kids, anything that you've seen, any issues?
No, anything that happens, like if they fall or anything like that, we have to write up incident reports and give it to the parent.
You have to write it up.
The director deflected their direct inquiries about the abuse, attempting to shift the focus to general accidents involving the children, a tactic often employed by those trying to dodge accountability.
And do you guys, like, discipline them in any form?
We can't discipline them.
No.
All we can do is talk to the parent.
Okay.
And then it's up to the parent. If the parent...
So you guys are not allowed to touch them at all, just...
No, and we tell the parent that really spanking doesn't work, because if he grabbed that kid at 9 in the morning, by the time you get him home and spank him, he doesn't know.
The responding officer, experienced in handling such delicate situations, was not easily misled. Despite the director's attempts to craft a plausible narrative and her claims of cautioning parents against using physical discipline, the contrast between her story and the employee's accusations painted a stark picture of deceit. Remaining composed, the officer requested to enter the daycare to meet the 3-year-old victim.
Stand up for me here. Can you stand up? Oh. Are you okay? Yeah. Did that hurt? Yeah. Hi there. What happened to your nose? Ah! She's gonna check his hoodie. I'm gonna look at your hoodie, okay?
Can you draw mine? Do mine too.
Heads down. Put your head on down. Heads down. Put your head on down. We're just talking to Cassie and he's fine. Down.
You did a great job. Give me knuckles. Excellent.
These are our friends.
Excellent.
It's pretty.
Great job.
How old is he?
No more than 3.
3 or 4. 3 or 4. Okay.
All right. You just get the parents. 49 and...
During their visit, the officers had a touching interaction with the boy, who even shared one of his drawings with them. They were left to wonder why the director could treat him so harshly. Driven by the urgency to protect him and the other children, the police promptly initiated a thorough investigation. The case progressed slowly, and it wasn't until 4 months later that the director, Angie Flores, was arrested. Charged with 2 felony counts of child abuse, her actions were finally being legally addressed. Although released from custody pending further investigation, she was barred from working at the daycare, ending her direct contact with children. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.